67-year-old Gail Heathcote of Chicago is scouring the grocery store for deals and tells Reuters she is struggling to feed her family.
I worked my whole life. For what? For me to be still struggling?
She's putting the blame on President Donald Trump, saying the cost of living has become unbearable.
Prices are ridiculous. And that man that's up there in that White House needs to go. He's killing us. I want him to come and live in my house for 1 week and see how we eat.
Trump campaigned on a pledge to lower consumer prices, but is now facing the same hard reality that dogged his predecessor, Joe Biden. In recent weeks, Trump has touted lower prices.
And eggs are way down now. We're getting prices down for this country.
While inflation is down, goods that are subject to Trump's tariffs in particular cost more than before, and wage gains for many have been largely offset by higher prices. The latest Consumer Price Index data from September shows a nearly 15% increase in the price of beef, a 7% increase for bananas, and more than 20% for coffee. Higher prices have forced Heathcote to turn to door dashing for extra income.
A lot of my customers are saying, "Why are you out here? Now, let's go for some beans."
The great-grandmother relies on pantries to put food on the table.
It's breaking me. How many other people are out there that need this food and they're here? I saw a lady here with a newborn baby.
More people are coming to our pantries.
Marie Jochum from the Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago says demand at this pantry has risen sharply in recent months.
We're having more first-time recipients. So right now we're seeing a 20% increase in people coming for the first time to a pantry.
29-year-old Devontae Conwell is one of them.
I had to find a pantry because, food is coming up so expensive. And I got a family to take care of, man. There's too many bills coming in.
Food costs have become a major political issue as Thanksgiving nears following a record-long government shutdown. The American Farm Bureau Federation estimates it will cost 5% less this year than in 2024, thanks to steep discounts for turkeys. But that tally is still 13% more than in 2019, during Trump's first term and before the pandemic. Half of Thanksgiving dinner's other foods, including sweet potatoes, frozen peas, and a fresh vegetable tray appetizer, cost more than in 2024.
A U.S. and Israeli-backed group set up to distribute aid in Gaza said Monday it was ending its operations. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or GHF, is shutting down after months of criticism over the deaths of hundreds of Palestinians near its aid hubs. It began supplying food to Palestinians in the Gaza Strip in late May. Most of its sites were in southern Gaza, far from much of the population, forcing many Palestinians to walk long distances for aid. Hundreds were shot dead near GHF sites when they first opened. The Israeli military said it had fired on Palestinians approaching soldiers. GHF, which bypassed the United Nations and established aid agencies to deliver food, suspended its operations following the October 10 ceasefire in Gaza. The foundation says it was only ever set up as a, quote, temporary emergency initiative. When asked how the shutdown was affecting the UN, spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric told reporters on Monday the closure would not change their work.
It has no impact on our operations because we never worked with them.
All right. And is enough aid getting in?
No. Right. I mean, there's more aid getting in, but not enough to meet all the needs.
GHF Executive Director John Acri said in a statement that a U.S.-led multinational coordination center in Israel overseeing President Donald Trump's plan to end the Gaza war would be, quote, adopting and expanding the model that the foundation had piloted. Since starting nearly 6 months ago, the organization said it has delivered 187 million meals, averaging less than a meal per day for Gaza's 2 million people. The Trump administration provided tens of millions of dollars for the project, but GHF has repeatedly refused to name other funders. Hamas welcomed the closure and called for the organization to be prosecuted for what it calls crimes against Palestinians. GHF's future had been uncertain ever since Trump announced his 20-point plan to end the 2-year war in Gaza. A clause in that plan excludes groups linked to either Hamas or Israel from distributing aid.
It was very scary. There was a roar, a loud roar. We thought that somewhere the weapon was diving. It was flying from that direction. And I just managed to escape into the corridor with my child. There was a very loud explosion. Our windows were falling apart. We put on clothes and ran out. There was horror. Everything was burning here. And a woman was screaming from the 8th floor, "Save the child. The child is on fire."
I can't believe that negotiations are taking place and so many people died today, just in Kyiv. They are doing this. I have no faith. I just don't have any faith. I hate this as much as a person can hate.
I think the negotiations won't do anything. The other side is not ready for reconciliation. These are all just words. This is my personal opinion. I hope to God I'm wrong.
I think this trip by Pope Leo will be closely watched by people around the world. He is visiting Turkey and Lebanon. He's expected to make appeals for peace in the region and also to try and promote unity among long-divided Christian churches in the region.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
He's making a trip that was originally planned for the late Pope Francis, who died in April. Pope Francis made 47 trips abroad, and they were always a time for people to see him as a person, to kind of get a sense of what he's like among normal people. We'll have that same chance now with Pope Leo. With any time the Pope is traveling abroad, he's leaving Italy, he's going to another country, there are always concerns about the Pope. He travels with a strong contingent of Italian and Vatican protective forces. Obviously, there is some concern in Lebanon. Pope Leo had a meeting a few weeks ago with the King and Queen of Jordan, and the Queen of Jordan was caught on camera asking the Pope if he thought it was safe to go to Lebanon.
Your Holiness, do you think it will be safe to go to Lebanon?
Well, we're going.
He responded, "Well, we're going." And so I think we're seeing in Pope Leo the same kind of firmness we saw in Pope Francis, to want to be able to travel and to let the security forces do what they need to do to prepare the scene. There's a news conference aboard the air flight with the journalist traveling with the Pope. With Pope Francis, it was a time for kind of a freewheeling press conference where often no subject was off the table and many things could come up. And we'll see if that happens with Pope Leo and what kind of surprises he may have in store.
وعلى رأسها مبادرة فخامة الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب.
The head of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, said on Monday that his fighters will enter a 3-month humanitarian truce in their war with the Sudanese army. The announcement, which appeared to announce a unilateral ceasefire, came after U.S. President Donald Trump last week pledged to intervene to end the conflict that has plunged Sudan into famine.
We hope the Quad countries will play their role in pushing the other side to engage with this step, and with international efforts aiming to achieve the interests of the Sudanese people.
Earlier this month, the U.S., the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, known as the Quad, proposed a truce followed by peace talks. The RSF initially agreed, but then launched drone strikes on army positions. The paramilitary's announcement came a day after Sudan's army chief rejected the Quad's proposals and criticized the inclusion of the UAE as a mediator, which has been widely accused of arming the RSF. The Gulf state has denied such accusations and said it aims to stop the war. The RSF faces backlash over brutal civilian attacks after seizing al-Fashir in late October, which cemented its control of the Darfur region. In a speech on Sunday, Sudan's army chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, accused the U.S. of aiming to cripple his forces while letting the RSF keep the territory it has seized. He also denied what he said were U.S. accusations of Islamist influence in his government. The war in Sudan, which broke out in April 2023 over disagreements on integrating the two groups, has killed tens of thousands of civilians, particularly in ethnically based bloodshed. The RSF faces genocide allegations, while both Dagalo and Burhan are under U.S. sanctions.
Black Friday crowds are expected to be bigger than ever this year, but their spending may not keep pace. Retailers strained by tariffs are rolling out fewer deals this year, making true bargains harder to find for shoppers. The National Retail Federation projects nearly 187 million people will shop in the 5-day stretch from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. That would be the most ever and up from about 183 million last year. Retailers have launched early promotions to lock in sales. Walmart's began on November 14th and will run in 3 phases through December 1st, with Walmart Plus members getting early access. Amazon started its Black Friday deals week on Thursday, while Macy's has opened a dedicated Black Friday portal. Sales in stores and online in November and December are forecast to top $1 trillion for the first time, according to the National Retail Federation. It expects sales growth of about 4%, but that would be down from the nearly 5% rise in sales in 2024. Spending per person is seen falling slightly, and a National Retail Federation poll shows that more consumers than last year say they will wait for Thanksgiving weekend deals. Eric Matisoff, an analytics and data science evangelist at Adobe who works with retailers, says consumers are also looking to pay less of the purchase price up front.
One big increase for growth this year that we're seeing is an increase in usage of buy now, pay later. So we're expecting $2 billion worth of purchases to be made using that type of technology, which shows that consumers are still really excited to make purchases and get value out of the discounts that we're seeing. However, they're looking to figure out ways to make the most of their money and stretch it.
One analyst who tracks consumer pricing tells Reuters that knowing when the best prices will appear is hard to determine because retailers have started promotions so early this year that those deals may not be available for Black Friday, or the items could be out of stock.
We're not really selling it. They sell themselves. It's just like kind of.
I think that probably the advantage to have the hands-free is amazing. It's very interesting, and the concept of wearables in a regular day, I think it has a huge potential at the end of the day.
I feel like the best feature is maybe the live translation feature. It will really help a lot of people, for sure.
I don't know how comfortable it's going to be like to wear them for like a long period of time. I've seen other like people that wear them like constantly adjusting them.
I'm really pleasantly surprised at how beautiful this object is. I think the audio quality is also surprisingly surprising.